to Backstage Buckeye. I'm your host, Lou Willard. This is the podcast, as you all know, where we talk to former OSU athletes about their time at Ohio State and, more importantly, their time after the playing field. And we have a very, very special guest on the show today who's a really good friend of mine. I'm really excited for this interview. That's why I'm rambling a little bit at the beginning, but it's okay. He hails from the University of Brookhaven, as he has named it. He played at OSU from 93 to 96, accumulating in the 1997 Rose Bowl victory over Arizona State out in Pasadena. My man, Anthony Gwinn. Anthony, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good, Lou, man. It's a privilege and an honor to be on your podcast show, man. Always looked up to you, big brother of mine, man. You know how I told y'all, man, I still feel to this day that class of 93 was probably the best recruiting class to ever come in Ohio State.
Yeah, we had a couple back-to-back years, man, with when you came in there, and we had, your brother, who we'll talk about. Oh, it's one of the best players I've ever played with. Three of the best players I've ever played with. Four is in that class.
That was loaded.
It was loaded. It was Corey, Terry, Jay, and Eddie.
Mm-hmm.
That's all in our one little class that we checked.
It was more than that, though.
But that was deep. I mean, we're not talking about me, Buzz,
Juan,
Kelly, Ty,
Eric
Starks. You know, I mean, you start running it down.
Max Leggett, Max, it was loaded.
Yeah, Max was down. Last time I talked to Max,
from top to bottom.
Yeah, it was a loaded class, man. So it was wild. It was wild. So tell us about your time at Ohio State. What was it like? See, because Anthony's in a unique situation. Unique. He is the middle son of three who played at Ohio State, oldest being Jason, who was phenomenal, and we'll touch on him, the youngest being Justin. And here you are in the middle, the middle child, but he was not forgotten, had a great career. What's that like coming into Ohio State? What was your thought process there?
It was an honor. It was an honor. I mean, the way we was raised, once Marlon and Jason kicked in the door, it kind of it allowed that perspective of going there to be a reality, because I never really thought about playing at Ohio State when I was younger. I just loved the game so much where I just want to get out on the field somewhere and play. And then I had the privilege and honor of playing with so many great players at Brookhaven, University of Brookhaven.
Yeah.
That it started to come to fruition. When Jason went there and I started to get recruited, and obviously with my parents having one Buckeye already there, it was kind of like an assumption that, I'd probably be there too. And I was. Don't get me wrong. I would kind of flirt with the recruiting process a little bit because I played basketball, and a lot of times we would go so deep in the state playoffs, at Grove City.
Absolutely.
That by the time we got the playoffs, basketball season was already started. There wasn't no tryouts or nothing. You go right from football to basketball. So the way I was raised and the way that Jay kind of made the template for college, it was kind of like a foregone thing that I'd probably go there. I was number one defensive back coming out of Ohio in high school. So it was like a natural thing for me to go there.
Yeah.
But what I didn't know was how big Ohio State was when I got there.
It can be overwhelming, and it caught me at first too.
I was like, whoa.
Yeah, it was big, and that's with you having a brother already there. And just to digress a little bit, when we talk to University of Brookhaven, that's Brookhaven High School in Columbus. They call it that because of numerous phenomenal athletes come out of that high school at the time, around that time frame, and several went to Ohio State. Marlon Kerner, the late great Terry Glenn, phenomenal, as you guys already know. The late great Jason Gwinn, Anthony's brother. They all played on the same high school football team. Let's just leave it there. Leave it there. Leave it crazy. Leave it there. We almost had to play each other in the playoffs one year too, but we got tripped up the week before that. But that would have been a hell of a game. That would have been a hell of a game.
Struck you.
But we was loaded. We had D1 guys on our team too. Now we had mostly MAC players.
Coach Cross, right?
Yeah, Coach Cross. Yeah, and we had mostly MAC players while y'all rolling out here with all these Ohio State, Kansas. Yeah. I mean, y'all got Hawaii football players. Y'all rolling out loaded. But that being said, what's your favorite memory about your playing days? Like, you played in the Rose Bowl. You played against Peyton Manning. Mm-hmm. I mean, what stands out Because that's interesting to me. I love to ask everybody that question.
Well, I mean, obviously, in terms of like a team perspective, then I mean, it was winning the Rose Bowl your senior year.
Yeah.
You know, because like I said at the time, Ohio State needed that. Coach Cooper needed that.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of people to this day, Lou, when I watch these games on TV, people don't realize that, you know, it's not easy to end your career on a win.
No,
You know, you
God,
see
no.
a lot of these teams that's what you remember. You know,
Yeah.
when you lose that last game like that. So when we won that game in Pasadena, and to such a great team that was undefeated that we won it against
Yeah.
Arizona State,
Jake Plummer was quarterback.
that's probably the biggest team memory. But the biggest individual memory was obviously running out of tunnel and finding my parents. You know, because being a guy that's from Columbus, I carry a different type of weight. You know, when I
Yeah.
go out there and
Yes.
play. You know from all the guys that brothers that we played with that's from Florida,
Yeah.
California, Pennsylvania, you know, Louisiana, wherever it may be. They come here to play.
Yeah.
We play at home.
Yeah.
So
Matter of fact, they're coming to our house and our mom is cooking them dinner.
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
so your mom, for those of you who don't know, which I'm sure most of you do, the Gwinn name in Ohio State University goes down in lore. I understand the tragedy that we all dealt with, but it was happening anyway. You put 3 sons on that football team, that's saying something. That's saying something.
Well, 4 now with my son.
I was gonna let you get there
4
later.
now.
Yeah, I was gonna let you get there later with that because that's a whole nother segment
Yes.
I want to talk to you
Right.
about here in a little bit. But those memories, man, and those are some of the things like when you go back, like I was talking before we recorded, that's some of the stuff I missed out on by my decisions I made by leaving. I'm like, man, I should have stayed just for that because I still knew all you cats. You know what I mean?
Brother,
And that looked great, man. That looks great. What do you miss most about it?
oh, that's easy. That's easy. I think about this all the time is the competitiveness.
Yeah.
You know, being
Yeah.
there and the competition. It could be cards. Playing cards in this, in this competition. Just there's no other way to get that type of competition now.
It's not because like when I did my show, that I missed the camaraderie in that locker room.
Mm-hmm.
Like people say locker rooms can be a bad place. And if you got to have thick skin to be in these locker rooms. You're talking about at the time 85 scholarship athletes, but 110 players.
All good.
Everybody's a type A personality.
Mm-hmm.
I walked into the running back room my first day. Well, not my first day, but when the veterans reported, there's Robert Smith, Raymond Harris, Butler Benote, Eddie George walked in. Travis McGuire and I walked in together. That's 6.
Mm-hmm.
There's one tailback that starts in one football.
Right.
You walked in there, Chico Nelson, Roger Harper,
Tim
Walton, Rob Kelly, and them our class with Todd. They was already there waiting on you, and they knew you because your brother was already there. Jay Lewis, Bloom was there, Dan Colson. So it is crazy. So I miss that camaraderie. Like you said, that competitive. It is serious. You're going in there with guys that are ranked in the top 10. Top 15 in the country at your position. Some are in the top 5 overall. You got to deal with that. So being from Columbus like I am, how you navigate that, then you got the pressure of your brother there. He's a budding, starts 23 tackles against Indiana.
Yeah.
From the defensive end position.
A monster.
Come on, he was a monster. How do you deal with that pressure?
Well, I mean, honestly, it was the path that got me to where I was. I was always fortunate to have coaches on every level that taught the game the right way, that taught fundamentals, sportsmanship, character, morals, values, the whole 9. I was lucky enough on every level, little league, middle school, high school, that prepared me for that. And that was one of the things, one of the easiest transitions was coming from Brookhaven to Ohio State was that we chased championships at Brookhaven.
Oh, yeah.
And that was the competitive nature of everybody on that team, was that we were striving to win the state championship. And eventually, a couple classes further down the road, 2004, ended up doing it.
Yeah.
And being the only public school in history to win one, and that ain't easy.
No.
You know,
Yeah.
each level you go up in the state playoffs,
Yeah.
you playing with teams that are loaded.
Or loaded. Like,
That are loaded.
like to touch on that. When I played at Grove City, we had 85 kids. How many did you guys have?
We kind of straddled the line of D2 and D1.
See, exactly.
We had a lot, though.
And we're up here with 85. When we went from offense to defense, still, because it was so competitive.
So competitive.
Only 3 of us came off the field.
Exactly.
Myself included, because I didn't play defense.
Same thing.
So y'all just switched sides of the ball. We did too. It did. I mean, because the talent was so great, how did you start pulling some of these players off? And no, I wasn't tackling anybody.
Right.
That's why I wasn't playing defense.
Right. I didn't come off the field my senior year.
Exactly. You guys weren't coming off.
Punter. I was the punt returner. I was on kickoff return, starting defensive back, and starting quarterback.
Starting quarterback, yeah.
So it was like, and the funny thing about it is I was conditioned to do it. You know, it was like, it was like, when you think in your mind, like, there's no way nobody could do that at the college level. You know, like, even with Travis Hunter, I'm like, how is he going to juggle?
Yeah, you get water when they call a timeout.
Yeah, exactly. And that's it.
That's when you got water.
And then you right back out.
And then you get water at halftime.
Mm-hmm.
And that was
right back out there.
And you're right back in the field. Out there. You know, so that is awesome. You know what? As you talk about transitioning from Ohio State, now the ball's not there anymore. The Rose Bowls are over. The Citrus Bowls are over. How did you transition into being Anthony?
That's the hardest part. See, that's the part they don't teach you, and especially playing somewhere like Ohio State, because the mindset is because of where Ohio State is, and how it's established itself as like an elite football program, and the type of players that come there, you know, forever. It's not something that's just started, in my opinion. I think they've always got the best talent. And your mentality is kind of like, you know, you can't help but be like, I want to play on the next level. I want to play on the next level. And, if you ask every player that went there, I'm sure that every player would think on their way there, beginning to start there, that they got a shot at the next level. But then reality sets in to where, like we talked about, the numbers game and how many opportunities is really out there.
Absolutely.
Then reality starts to set in. And for me, that was when I had to kind of deal with a lot of things that I wasn't used to dealing with while I was playing football at Ohio State. You know, losing my brother, losing my best friend and stuff like that. It was cool because people don't realize that college football is all year.
Yeah.
It ain't just the season you watch on TV.
Yeah.
It's winter conditioning, spring football, summer camp, and then the season, and it don't stop.
It does not stop, and you cannot have a job.
Nah.
And we'll touch on the NIL later as we talk about your son too. So you were broke. Everybody, all of us were broke in college. It was the way it was. We didn't have the opportunity to go get a job. So as you transition now, you've lost your brother. You could touch on the. I'll let you go as deep into that as you want. I can't imagine. I know how it made me feel, and he was just one of my best friends. That still breaks my heart. So you deal with that, and now you're dealing with no NFL, as I did. You're dealing with no football. You wake up. Where do you go today? It's like, what do you do? Because guess what? When you walk out there, hey, there's Anthony Gwinn. That's number 26 for Ohio State. They still see you as Ohio State.
Right.
So everything has to be good. While up here, what are you battling? Are you battling depression, a sense of loss? You trying to find yourself? Where are you at right now?
I think it was a combination of a lot of things. Disappointment, trauma, you could say depression, bad association. You know, all these things that create that perfect storm was when I wouldn't exactly call it the darkest time of my life, but it was the part of my life where I learned the most lessons that I know now. Because what I didn't realize is that when you don't have football to fill in all them pieces like that, then now you got to address reality and hit some stuff head on in a different way.
Yeah.
And for me, that was when a part of my life where it was easy for me to detour off and make decisions and associate myself with people that I wasn't really necessarily raised to do.
Yeah.
But it felt good to me at the time because it felt like that everything I had shouldered over the years, losing my brother, losing my best friend, pro career not, ending the way I thought it would, that it was easy for me to start making those bad decisions like that. And I did. And I owned up to them. I got to hang with the wrong crowd. I got into selling drugs, got knocked, spent a couple years in prison for that. But that was the time where it allowed me to really, that was kind of like God's way of saying, stop.
Yeah.
You need to look at things you're not getting it right now. So you need to stop.
Yeah.
And that was the time when I actually envisioned majority of the stuff that I'm doing in my life now, running my company, the foundation that me and Terry have for probably, I think, over 15 years now.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Mentoring young guys, giving out the Jason Gwinn Award to the top high school football player. I had Lorenzo's son, Sonny, won it 1 year. DC's son, Dwayne Carter, won it, another year. And Darren Lee won it a year. And doing those type of things like that, what I'm saying? I got my degree, going back to get my second degree. It was during that time that when I had to sit back that I could really kind of like envision what I was doing, what I didn't want to do, and the path that I wanted to go down going further.
Yeah. And that's, I appreciate you sharing that, because that's the purpose of this podcast. Because a lot of people think just because we were there in the shoe, Anthony played in some high stake games. High stake games. We're talking Rose Bowls, Citrus Bowls. He's done all of that. So everybody will look on the outside and go, your life must be great. And I've always said, having the talent that we were blessed to have is a blessing and a curse.
Yeah, it is.
It's a double-edged sword, because when you're blessed with that kind of talent, so many of us discover it so early. For me, I was like 8, and it was just like, oh, it's different.
Right.
Like, we get on the football field, like, what everybody else playing, because I'm the only one with a clean uniform, and I play tailback.
Come easy.
It come easy.
Come easy.
So therefore, I never had to work for friends. I had a locker room full of them. I never had to work to fit in a social environment.
Right.
Because everybody want to be your friend because you play. I went to Grove City. He went to Brookhaven. Them the Gwinns from Brookhaven. That's Ant. So people want to swoop in on that, and then poof, the light go out. There's no helmet to put on. There's no football. And then we're watching some of our best friends and our peers killing it in the league.
That's the hardest part.
Killing it in the league.
That was, from a competitive standpoint, I can honestly say that was the most difficult thing that I've ever had to do from a sports standpoint. Because, like you said, you see guys that you feel like you're better than. You see guys that you played with. Nothing against Rob Kelly. I love Rob Kelly to death. Like,
absolutely,
he came in with you in '93, and I started alongside Rob Kelly. And Rob Kelly was the first safety taken in the draft.
Yeah,
and me and Buster sat right there, and we watched that draft from beginning to end, the first player to the end. Because in your mind, you feel like, your name's gonna get called.
Yeah,
and they even Chicago Bears called Buster right before their pick. And asked him, said, are you ready to be a Bear? He was on the phone with general manager, player personnel, whoever it may have been. And I'm thinking like, oh, Buster's about to get, drafted by Chicago Bears. They blinked the thing on the screen with the next selection. Chicago Bears select Michael Booker. And we was like, oh, that quick. It was like one extreme to the other, so that part of not getting to further your dream like that and feeling like you could, even when I had the free agent shot with the Patriots, and I went down there and Lawyer Molloy was there, Willie McGinnis, Ty Law, and Terry was there, and I'm seeing some of the guys, and I'm like, I think I might be better than him, but now it's a business. And you got players that's drafted, you got players that's under contract, and now it's a business. It's not always about who's better than who. So that was the hardest part, was basically realizing that your career is literally about to come to an end. Luckily for me and Buster did play in that first year league, the RFL, Ohio Cannon and Toledo. Okay. And it was an experience. It was pro football. You know what I'm saying? We made decent money. Major Harris was on our team. running back from Michigan. I forget his name. I can't think of his name right now. A couple other guys that bounced around in the NFL. Marquez Pope was down there, and it was pro ball. You know what I'm saying? But unfortunately, all the teams in that league wasn't doing balanced as good as others was. So the league ended up collapsing after that first year. And that's when it was like literally like,
what are you going to do?
It's
now?
over.
Yeah.
It's over.
You know, and that's a crazy experience. And like, I didn't even, that particular draft you talking about, I didn't watch it because I should have been in it.
I couldn't watch them for a couple of years.
I should have been in it.
I couldn't
and then I went and I applauded and cheered for all of my teammates. And I'm watching games on Sundays. And I'm telling my wife, Mindy, man, I'm better than that kid. And I know the difference was, and I was too young, still wasn't mature enough to handle this decision, so I couldn't admit it at the time. I do now. He did what he was supposed to do. He played, quote unquote, the game. And when I say the game, he went to class, followed the rules, did what he was supposed to do, acted like he had some sense, and now there's his reward.
Right.
But you stick us out on the football field and say, here's a ball, same concept, same everything. I'm better than he is. But like you said, this is a business. It's not your God-given right to play football. You have to earn that. Somebody stroking that check, and it's like you touched on. This guy's he signed a 3-year, $30 million deal. He's making $10 million a year. Here you come better than him, but they just gave him $30 million. Now he playing. You go over here.
Big portion of that is guaranteed.
Big portion guaranteed.
You gotta get something out of it.
You gotta go talk to the man in the box. Now you a millionaire, but you gotta go talk to the billionaire who giving this man $30 million. He's saying, no, I gave him $30 million. Put him on the field,
right,
and make it work. That's why coaches come, coaches go. You know, and that's why coaches are such a big influence in your life. And so, like you, I went through a lot of ups and downs. You know, I need jobs, started my own business. I come back to you. You probably don't even remember this. You're one of the first people I seen and it was by sheer chance, and neither one of us wanted to be there, Children's Hospital. You probably don't even remember when my nephew had he had a stroke when he was going on 6 months old. And I bumped into you at Children's Hospital because one of your kids was there, or one of your friends' kids. I forget who, but I know that's the first time I had seen you was in the ICU at Children's Hospital.
I think it was my daughter.
Was it your daughter?
It was my daughter.
Yeah, we bumped into each other at the ICU at Children's Hospital, and you was like, what have you been up to? And I'm like, man, neither one of us there to chop it up like we are now. We both in the ICU at Children's Hospital. This ain't the place. You know, but that was one of the first times, and I was so glad to see that you were doing well. I hated to see you there as you did I.
Right. But
it's such a crazy experience as we go through this. And now you transition out of all of this, and here you are. You have a couple kids. I can dig it, but you also have one that we're going to talk about today. I'll let you discuss your children as you so choose, but you've given me permission to bring up your son who's currently playing for Ohio State.
I'm proud of my son, man. It's been a heck of a sacrifice because that's my first son. I had 3 daughters. You know, my first 3 kids was 3 daughters. They were of age when I had my son, and just trying to take a combination of the way we was raised with a blend of the new generation, and the training, the expensive training, the expensive sacrifices, coaching with my little brother with his teams. You know, he won a couple of national championships with the traveling team. Having your son out there because you know what it takes to get to where he wanted to get to. So it was just really just kind of like making sure that he stays in his lane over his career and not letting him veer too far out either way. It was basically just navigating him over the years, but also making sure that he was putting in the hard work that you need to put in to achieve some of the goals that he had for himself. So he was getting recruited a lot of schools as a quarterback, as an athlete. Coach Knowles came up there. I videoed. He came up to school, and it was funny because he pulled his car directly on the track where the field was. They opened the gates. It was like out of the movies or something. I got the video of it where he pulled up, and the gates opened, and he got out, and he talked to his head coach for a while, and they put some cones out and stuff. And my son was out there warming up, and he really wanted to see what type of athlete he was. He wanted to see his hips,
see his hips and feet. Yep.
And I already knew my son was capable of, from an athletic standpoint, super athletic. I mean, he would do stuff in games and basketball games, dunking and different stuff, and I kind of be like, whoa. But it wasn't new because I played at Ohio State.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like, it wasn't like, really eye popping, but it was kind of like, okay. You know what I'm saying? So he was getting recruited by colleges for quarterback. I don't think he really understood the recruiting process, especially now, but he had his goals set very high. And unfortunately for him, Westerville Central wasn't the most successful team in the area, but he put in the work. And unfortunately, his senior year, he hurt a hamstring first game of the season playing against Stanley Jackson, Westerville North.
Yeah.
And he tried coming back. You know how that hamstring thing was kind of falling all year. And I think that might have affected his recruiting a little bit from a quarterback standpoint.
Absolutely.
But schools knew enough about him as an athlete to where it was still interest there. Ohio State had previously offered him as an athlete. The funny thing is, you and I both understand the recruiting process. And we was there on his visit at Ohio State. Chip Kelly was when Chip Kelly was there still. He had him right into the corridor where all the wards are, the Woody and stuff. And he was like, "Hey, Jason," he said, "I don't know if you ever thought about playing slot receiver, but he's like, I've coached a lot of guys on Sundays. I've developed a lot of guys." He said, "You will be a real asset in our offense at that slot receiver." My son. Now keep in mind, this is Chip Kelly. I'm talking to Chip Kelly.
You talking to Chip. He knows Chip Kelly, but he don't know Chip Kelly.
I'm looking at how this is going, and I'm thinking like, I'm thinking like this is not going in the right area. So Jason tells him, "Yeah, it's a lot of schools recruiting me as an athlete, but I'm a quarterback." And I'm like, "Why did he say that?" They was offering as an athlete. I had talked to Timmy, and Timmy was, telling me the outlook on him, and they think that he'll be a great defensive back. But see, the problem is trying to convince a kid what you see and you've been there, as opposed to what they think in their mind, is almost like Mission Impossible. Yeah. So I had to slowly feed him stuff. And if I ever got off the wrong track, it would be like, "Well, all right, Dad, I'm gonna prove to all of y'all." I said, "Whoa, what do you mean prove to me? I ain't doubting you. I'm just trying to, nudge you." So I said, "I'm gonna back off of this." And eventually they had enough interest in him to offer him as a preferred walk-on and give him a roster spot, and agree that he played defensive back, and that's what he's doing now. Defensive back, same position I played, safety.
Yeah, and what's funny? Little known fun fact for the show: his son wears the same number I wore.
Yeah,
35. He wears the same number I wore. I saw that. I told Mindy, I was like, "That's crazy. Man, look at Ant's son wearing my number."
Yeah, because when we play, when you see those numbers, it don't matter who's wearing it. Those numbers represent whoever it is in your mind. Where you would think it's that person right there. Like, "Oh, they gonna tie." "Oh no, oh, that's a new player."
Oh yeah, man.
Because we identify people by their numbers and still remember them.
Still remember the numbers, man, and it's crazy. So as you get into that with your son and everything, and I hope to have Lorenzo on because he has two sons up there starting at that place at that unit.
Guy. I see him a lot.
Yeah, Zoe was a good dude, man. He's another one in our class that we didn't mention at the beginning. He was in our class. The class was loaded.
Matter of fact, it's like you better off
not even mentioning nothing. Unless you're going to mention all 26. Unless you're going to mention all 26, let it go.
Let it go.
Let it go. It was that loaded. But as I was saying, so you get into that, your son's here, it's a new age of college football. D and I talked about this NIL deal. I am so happy for these kids. They earn that money. The university makes millions. I mean, they were making almost $10 million a home game in 92, 93 when I was there.
Easily.
So now imagine what they're making, because we see the prices. Like, we get recruited through my business to contribute, buy a seat, loge, and all this other stuff, which I don't have, but I know the prices. I'm glad these kids are making money, but I'm hoping this, and you can tell me, because D and I didn't know the true answer. Are they teaching them financial responsibility? I know they can say, well, that's your job as a parent, yada, yada, yada. Well, I look at it, one, yes, not disagreeing. Nobody told us about money.
No.
But so we can tell them that aspect of it, but hopefully at a major university like the Ohio State University, greatest university in the world, I might add, hopefully they're directing these kids and not just stroking them checks. Hopefully they're telling them, look, this money, because the league is this close and that far away. Hopefully you're invest in it. I know Cornell, he flips properties.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I seen that on TV.
Yeah, he flips properties and stuff like that. I bump into him every now and then at the UPS. I don't even bother him, so he don't even know who I am. I see him, they're like, did you realize that was Cornell? Yeah, that's Cornell.
Right.
But he gets that everywhere he go. He don't need an old washed up ex-football player fanboying him. You know what I mean? So I just, hey, how you doing, young man? Keep on pushing. But hopefully they're teaching. What is your son learning? Because I'm starting to ramble a little bit to get to the point of what is your son learning with this NIL?
He's starting to mature a little bit. I don't think in this short period of time, from a financial standpoint, that he's probably, I wouldn't say where he should be, but not where he'll probably end up at. And I just try to kind of let him experience things for himself and come in when I need to. But he's done a couple commercials. I'm sure he's had his portion of NIL opportunities. And between me and my brother and my family, we try to, explain to him financial responsibility. And it's going to take time because I was never the best.
Yeah.
I was, even as an adult, I was never.
How about the fact that I'm still learning?
Yeah, me too.
It's a never-ending process. So the more we can help our kids with, the better off they'll be. But look, we didn't come from generational wealth.
Nah.
My parents worked hard for everything we have, as did yours.
Right.
And we were both blessed. Your parents are still married, so am mine. 50 some odd years, 55, 56 years. That itself is a blessing.
I'm not even 56 years old. So that puts it in perspective.
That's how long my parents been married. I'm 52. So it's awesome when you see that. But back in the day when they grew up, it was just trying to make it, trying to give us a better way. And they did. So then nobody had time to be explaining no finances. You know what I'm saying? Right. So now we see this and these kids getting big money. I'm not sure what your son getting. It's not our business. It's not the show's business. But imagine what the quarterback getting.
Right.
Somebody got to help them navigate this.
Players.
Yeah, somebody got to help them navigate this. And I hope that system is being put in place because they'll round it in where they'll put a salary cap on every team, which they should.
Right.
But the kids should get paid. But there should be a salary cap so we don't get too lopsided.
Right. That's one of the good things about me is that I know Coach Day personally.
Yeah.
And I've talked to him on a couple occasions. He invited my family up. And he gave my mom a game ball marking the 30 years that Jay passed. I mean, it was straight class, first class. Invited us into his office. He sat there and talked to us about, his upbringings. And we talked amongst each other. He gave the ball to my mom. It was like, it's like having my son play for somebody like that. I can genuinely say that I think he takes all the efforts to prepare kids for life after football. He assigns them books to read. They quiz them on the chapters and the different things of keeping a level mind. With staying hungry, being accountable, all the different things that you really want to see because we played before.
Yeah.
So now when you got a situation where your son is in that situation now you got a little bit to fall back on. So you want to actually, as a parent, you want to actually say this is where my kid going to be for the next 4 or 5 years. What are these people like that are going to have him? Because they're basically going to be dad for the next 4 or 5 years. I talked to my son briefly now. It's mostly text. Mostly he's asking for something.
Yeah.
Or something like that. So it's like with him staying with me, it's like it's not that relationship all like that no more because he's in college. You know how it is.
Oh yeah.
He's in college now, and all the festivities and all the fun things about college is still there.
Yeah.
You got your campus life, you got your friends. So the point that I'm making is that I think that Coach Day sets up a system where one way or another, he tells those kids and prepares those kids about, life after football, because he brings it up all the time. And with me talking to him and getting to know him on a couple occasions and talking to him, he seemed pretty sincere about. And then you look at the program, you look at some of the stuff. I think one statement that he made that kind of resonated with me was that he said, if you come to Ohio State for the money, don't come here.
Yeah.
And that was kind of like, in this day and age, to say something like that, and that's coming from Ohio State.
Oh yeah.
It just kind of tells you what that brand is about.
Yeah.
If you're coming here just for the NIL and not, we got a brand to protect.
Yeah, we got to win.
Yeah, we got a brand. Yeah. You lose 2 or 3 games in Columbus, why you get you fired?
2 or 3 games while you there. And I'm talking all 4 years. You lose.
That'll get you a raise in most other places. That'll get you fired in Columbus. Try losing 3 or 4 games in Columbus in 1 year and watch what the fallout is. But it's just, to me, he's just picking up where the standards at Ohio State is, man. And I trust my son, being there with him. And Tim Walton, Coach Walton, and all the coaches and stuff like that. I just trust
and that's the benefit because you played with Tim. So you know him.
Licks. Yeah, that's what we call it. Yeah, licks. I see him all the time where Sonny and Lorenzo practice, man. And it's just the brotherhood, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
it's deep, and that's what I was explaining when I did my show, and then D and I talked about it. Ron and I didn't touch on it too much because he played basketball, so we didn't go too much into the football aspect, but in the university aspect, we did. Mm-hmm. Once you're a Buckeye, you are in.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Even if you make some mistakes, trip and stumble, all you have to do is right yourself, come back, apologize if need be.
Be accountable.
Be accountable. Own your crap, own your baggage, and get on with life, and everybody brings you back.
And see, that's part of the responsibility too, Lou. See, like, that I can speak from experience is, and I try to explain to my son, is that when you represent the university and you represent the last name of your family and everybody that played a part on you getting there like that, you don't have the benefit of making a mistake and it gets brushed under the rug.
Exactly.
When I made the mistakes that I did, it was such a humiliating time in my life for me, but mainly for my parents and my family, because the front page of the sports page was former Buckeye up on drug charges. And I'm like, oh my God, we're like, what just happened? Oh my God, but when you got that brand on your chest, you can't make a mistake like that. Everybody gonna know about it.
Oh yeah.
Anybody else can make a mistake and go under the radar and
that's a time
never hear about it.
That's a time when everybody didn't have a camera in their pocket.
Exactly.
Called cell phones. We didn't have this. The cell phones were just coming out. You remember we had pagers.
Right.
The pager was the big thing.
The pager.
So now imagine if they had these. Oh, man.
Oh, yeah. I think about it all the time.
I'll leave it at this. Imagine. We'll leave it at that.
Social media.
The Park Hotel would.
Oh, my God.
There'll be a movie made about the Park Hotel.
A documentary. There'll be number 1.
There'll be a 6-series documentary about the Park Hotel.
Yeah. Whoa.
Oh, my God. But, as we start to wrap this up, what are you doing now?
I got my business now, Gwinn Enterprise. We do all home restorations, everything. We probably build a house if we wanted to, but I'm pushing 10 years with that. I did it the way that I thought that you were supposed to do a business. I try to do things right. Not to say that I didn't make mistakes, here and there.
Oh, yeah.
But in terms of laying the foundation for it and what we do, decks, fences, finished basements, interior, exterior roofing, power washing, the whole 9, where, the proof is in the pudding. You check out the website, ajgwinn.com, see some of the work that we done. And it's like, it's all coming to fruition now. We're like, all the work that we put in over the years is you starting to see that now where referrals and word of mouth.
To where you don't even need to advertise much. Your phone's ringing.
It's a blessing. It's a blessing, and like I said, I'm still trying to really tighten up on being financially responsible, because that's never been. I can make the money, sure, but like actually being and my brother is so far out there with it, what he does with the real estate and how his mind works and stuff, and it's like I always feel like that I always got to tighten up in that area like that to where, and that's something that I really been trying to, focus on in that area. But the business is going great. It's a true blessing. It's a true
It
blessing.
is, because I tell you what, and you do have to manage the money, because that tax thing, people, is no joke.
It's no joke.
Well, I was talking, we have a great accountant for my business, and when this years ago though, we got to talking about the tax. I'm like, wait a minute, what do you mean? There's more than two different taxes to pay? I'm like, you're paying like five different taxes. It's crazy. So to be able to navigate that, but I can speak on um, Anthony's work, because he just finished my sister's debt. Did a great job with it. Again, tell them how they can reach you.
AJGwinn.com is the website. You can contact us, cell phone, email. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Google under AJ Gwinn Enterprise. Like I said, we pushed 10 years of doing this. It started with an ideal when I had an office job. My brother was in real estate. I think you were working with my brother at the time too as well. And I just happened to be in Ollie's Bargain Outlet, and I saw a power washer. And I was like, my brother, my friends sell houses. Maybe I can start, power washing on the side, see where it goes. That first year, I made like $15,000 on the side of my office job. So now I was faced with going into business. Like, do I leave my office job? Do I leave? Can I do it on the side? Can I do this full time? And I kind of, fought with that tug of war that for a second. I said, I'm doing it. And I did it the next year. I think I came out the gate, made like 40, 50,000 that first year. And then each year from there, it just went.
It just goes up and up. Just goes up.
And we do such a great job because we take pride in our work. And see, that's that competitiveness, like where anything we choose to do, we want to try to be the best at it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So over the years, the decks and the fences have become our bread and butter.
Yeah. See, and that's what you settle into in business. You find your niche, and that's what you go with. Because I had the home inspection company for 20-something years. Now I have the home warranty company.
Right.
You transition into it. This one doesn't beat my body up like the other one did. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
But this has been a great episode. I can't thank you enough for your time. I truly appreciate the sincerity and honesty and the in-depthness that you went to, in this interview. And I wish you nothing but the best of luck, my friend.
I always look at you as a big bro, man. And my family does too, man. Like everybody that came in that 93 class is like, I look at like big brothers, man, especially going through what I went through at the time with Jason. Is like, as soon as we see each other, we talk for days, man.
Talk for days. I mean, for those y'all don't know, we talk for probably 30 some odd minutes before we hit record.
Easily.
But until the next time, that's it for this episode of Backstage Buckeye. And as I always tell you guys, please be kind to each other. Thanks a lot for watching. Have a great day.
Go Bucks.